Welcome to Huts of New Zealand. In this series I will travel to backcountry huts all around New Zealand to record, review and rate my experiences to give you a better idea of what to expect when you go hiking around our beautiful country. Today I'm going to FRAMPTON'S Hut, a 6-bunk standard hut located in the Waima Forest of Northland, New Zealand. From State Highway 12 between Whirinaki and Opinoni, turn onto Mountain Road and continue for 4 kilometres. Living up to its name, Mountain Road is a narrow, steep and windy gravel road. You'll be fine in a 2-wheel drive, but take extra care around corners and drive slow for the locals. Just before the road end, you'll reach the start of 6-foot track, which is the easiest way to get to FRAMPTON'S Hut. There's not much room for parking here, so make sure you leave room for others to get past. The dock sign shows some information about the tracks available to walk from here, and before you set off, make sure you lock your vehicle and don't leave any valuables behind. The track to FRAMPTON'S Hut is 3.5 kilometres with 150 metres of climb and takes 1 hour to walk. It's marked as a paper road as it was once used as a bridle track, so it's short, gentle and relatively easy. The track passes some water tanks before entering the regenerating native bush consisting of broadleaf forest and Nico palms. It's wide and well maintained most of the way as it sidles the range, intersecting a couple of waterfalls and giving way to plenty of mud in some sections. You'll also get some nice views overlooking the Hokianga district. About 1 kilometre in, you'll pass by the site of an old private hut hidden from the track. Listed on hutbagger.co.nz as 6-foot hut, there's not much to see here and it's in pretty bad shape. You'll notice a few odd features along the track such as wire rope fences and water mains. This is because the area is privately owned and has a history of being farmed. After following a proper fence line, the track crosses it and links up with a 4-wheel drive track. This track then crosses through a gate and over a stream before climbing up the hill with a long snaking right-hand turn. And just when you think you're beginning to walk in circles, the track finally emerges onto a large grassy clearing, and sitting on the other side, you'll see FRAMPTON'S Hut. The area around FRAMPTON'S Hut was extensively logged by early European settlers and converted into grassland for farming. FRAMPTON'S Hut was originally a farmstead built between 1977 and 1984 by a local farmer of the same name. As farming in the area fell out of fashion, the natural landscape started regenerating back into native bush. In recent years, Doc took over the farmstead, converting it into a standard hut, and today it's the only hut in the Waima Forest. There's still evidence of the area's farming history, such as fence lines through the bush, rotting vehicles on the road, and scrap metal strewn around the place, all of which somewhat degrading the natural landscape. FRAMPTON'S Hut has 6 bunks in total, 4 in the side bunk room and 2 in the living area, as well as a large bench with a sink, a table with chairs, shelves with a few pots and pans, a potbelly stove, plenty of windows, and candle holders on the walls. There's 2 doors to get in and out. The back one has some nice stained glass windows on it, and the front one was broken and wouldn't open when I stayed. Out the front there's a nice veranda with seating, and around the back you'll find another covered area with a woodshed, a bathtub for some reason, coat hooks, a new composting toilet, don't forget your toilet paper, and a large roof-filled water tank with another sink and a tap. As with most huts, it's advised you boil the water before use. There were a couple of trampers at the hut when I arrived on a warm December evening, so I prepared my dinner and chatted with them while we ate. The hut sits 483 metres above sea level, so while it was warm during the day, it soon started to get chilly as the sun went down. There was no need to get the fire going though, and once it was dark, I hopped into my sleeping bag and went to bed for the night. In the morning I was up bright and early so I could get back to the car park. After enjoying my morning coffee, I signed into the hut logbook, packed up my gear and swept the floors. And as the sun began to shine on the forest, I put my shoes on and headed back along 6-foot track to the car park. There are lots of other tracks to walk in the Waima Forest, and the Huturu High Point track is another great way to get to FRAMPTON'S Hut. At 5.7 kilometres with 550 metres of climb, this 4-hour track starts at the Waiotamarama waterfall before climbing steeply through old native forest and reaching the 679 metre summit with great views. While I didn't walk this track myself, I would recommend it if you wanted a more challenging and more scenic tramp to the hut. And if you're in the area, I would also recommend visiting the nearby Lord of the Forest, Tane Mahuta, and the beautiful Hokianga Harbour. FRAMPTON'S Hut is not your usual backcountry hut. With its stained glass windows, L-shaped interior and bathtub out the back, it has lots of quirks and charms which make it unique and very special. Overall, it is a pretty cool hut with a lot of history and character, but it does have its flaws. For starters, the front door wouldn't open due to a broken latch, while on the flip side, the window next to it was stuck open and wouldn't close. Some of the wooden joinery was also rotting quite bad, and in the hut book some people had complained about possums and even a rat's nest in one of the mattresses. Since the hut is also accessible by 4-wheel drive, others had complained about loud vehicles driving up late at night and lots of rubbish being left around. Thankfully, most people who visit the hut treat it with respect and leave it tidy for the next people to enjoy, and with a bit of love and a few extra repairs, the hut should remain in good condition for years to come. I'd give Frampton's Hut 3 stars. With an interesting but vague history, the hut is oozing with charm and easily accessible. The hut is free and open to anyone on a first in, first served basis. Check out the dock website in the description below for more information. There's no cell phone reception at the hut, but there is on some parts of the track. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of the huts of New Zealand.